Hi, I'm Ken Norton, and I was born deaf in San Francisco, California. I was blessed with wonderful deaf parents who sent me to the California School for the Deaf in Berkeley. So when I grew up, I went off to college at Gaudet and graduated in 1950 when I began teaching high school students in Oklahoma. I got married and started a family, but in 1961 I moved back to my old alma mater, the school in Berkeley. I taught there for a long time, but in 1990, my wife and I actually both retired, and since then, we have been doing a lot of traveling. I have so many great memories growing up at the school in Berkeley, and I'd like to share one with you. Our school letters were CSD, and we were so proud of our school. We just wanted to do something to show it. The school was on top of a hill that was covered in beautiful eucalyptus trees, except for the very top, which was completely bare. So my fellow classmates and I brainstormed and discussed our ideas, and we finally decided that we were going to put the letter CSD on top of the hill. So we decided around 1942 that the oldest boys were going to plan the project and start working on it, and the youngest boys, who were around 4 or 5 years old, watched us and had ideas that they wanted to help us do. So first we had to build the forms of the letters, and they were huge, 10 feet by 10 feet. They're gigantic. So our next step was to fill the forms in with rocks. But before we could do that, we had to build steps all the way up the hill so we could get to the forms. After we finished that, the boys began carrying the rocks, and sometimes they would drop them and they'd go tumbling down the hill and nearly hitting some kids. But that happened a few times. Next, we mixed cement, and our idea to carry them up the hill was to gather vegetable and fruit cans and attach 2 of them with string. Fill up the cans with the cement and then put them over our shoulders to carry up the hill. And boy, did we feel like Chinese coolies, like slaves back then, just walking in a straight line up the hill, working our way up. Boy, was it funny. Sometimes the cans were a little bit over full and they would just spill out everywhere onto the boys behind the boys who spilled them, and that began some fist fights. When we finally were able to finish the forms, we filled them all with the cement. We cleaned them off, made them smooth, and we had those CSD letters. So we worked for months and months and months through the springtime to finish this project until the very last weekend. Then we were trying to find some paint to cover the letters in. It was so hard to find paint because during that time, the World War II was going on. So between 1941 through 1945, we could not find any paint. But my senior year in 1945, we actually were able to get paint since the war was nearing an end. We chose this bright orange color called Rango, and you could see it so well, so beautiful. You could see it from the bay. So students from Gaudet and Berkeley, when they moved back, they could still see that sign, and it made them so proud. They actually got together, and whenever there was an imperfection in the letters or something, they would paint over it. And man, was that paint thick. From all the layers we had put over it. And those eucalyptus trees started creeping up, covering the letters, so we cut them down so you could still see that CSD clear as day.